Welcome to Astoria, Queens. Beautiful neighborhood in Queens, New York, within only 20 minutes from Manhattan. Known for its diversity, tons of restaurants, shops, and a lot of beautiful scenery. From tree-lined streets to Main Street, served by the subway line, and pretty walkable to get around. But there's another phase 2 of the neighborhood that's pretty hidden gem. So we're gonna go explore this neighborhood to see what's going on around here. Join me. What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video, and I'm in one of my favorite neighborhoods in Queens, New York, which is Astoria. And by the way, Astoria is a pretty massive neighborhood, but it goes from Steinway, they got 30th Street, Broadway, a lot of main streets, a lot of beautiful houses and tree-lined streets. So, you know, it could take a while to cover up the whole area, which I've done it before, and I might do it again. But today I want to show a few hidden gems right here in Astoria, especially by the ferry station. If you go all the way at the end, you're gonna see a beautiful waterfront, kind of like a semi-beach, where you can see views of the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And you know, it's like a peaceful vibe, but they developed the area pretty well, which I've walked many times, and I want to show you guys around there. And then I'm gonna walk around probably 12th Street, so you can see some beautiful houses over there. And we're gonna go check out Sculpture Park, which is a beautiful park that has some sculptures and, you know, pretty local. So without further ado, join me. And then one thing about Queens, especially Astoria, is all these beautiful apartments over here, or houses. Like the architecture is nice, even the building over there is pretty nice too. Let me show you a little bit of this street so you can see how it is. And it's a really diverse neighborhood. It's pretty much known for the high Greek community, but if you go around Steinway, it's a big Middle Eastern vibe over there. So a little bit of everything in this beautiful neighborhood. And you can see this apartment building right here is pretty nice. But now I'm gonna head back towards Broadway and walk all the way towards the end to show you what's going on. The little area is called Halletts Cove Beach, I think it is. Kind of like a beach, but you can't really bath in the water, but it feels like that. And it's like a really peaceful vibe. Let's see what's going on. I know they're developing the area, so it's gonna be pretty nice to show you what's going on. Some of the nicest sunsets are in that area too. Like sometimes when I live stream, I capture the sunset there, and you just can't get bored of it. And this is Broadway, and it's like 2 blocks away from the subway station. The N train and the W train stops here. Once you go by the subway station, it's more busy with more business. Then over here it turns pretty residential. But like I tell you, Astoria is pretty big. It's like many neighborhoods in one, because every section that you go in the neighborhood changes and it's different from another one. So I think the next time when I come back to do a full recorded video in Astoria, I think I'm gonna do it by bike, because it'll take you a while to walk from one angle to another one, which is doable, I can do it, but I think it's much better if I do it on the bike, and I think it's gonna be even like a smoother film and view. You see a lot of apartments. If I was to live in Queens, it would be between Sunnyside, Woodside, and maybe here Astoria. It would be one of the neighborhoods I would love to live, due to the fact not only the subway train is really close to Manhattan and just a peaceful vibe that you get around here. Then ahead of me is 21st Street, which is a big street that will go all the way towards Long Island City, and it will pass Queensbridge houses, which is the biggest lodging housing authority in New York City. A lot of rappers came out of there, a lot of history. You see strip malls. But we're gonna keep walking forward until I make it to my final destination. Crazy thing, time really flies. We're literally topping the end of summer, probably 2.5 more weeks to go. But you know, now the weather gets pretty stable, it's not gonna get like really hot or cold, so I'm gonna try to make the most off of it. Then the fall season is coming up, so let's go over here to capture some good views around this local area right here. As you can see, the developing area, the developing this over here, because there's a lot of potential going on. Before there wasn't really much happening here, but you can see new apartments I'll show you ahead of me. Like over here, you can see new apartment units, and they even have like a balcony. And then once you go ahead, there's even more going on. So a block ahead of me should be the Socrates Sculpture Park, which we're gonna do an entrance, so I can show you guys what's going on over there. Pretty local park. Then they got a Costco, and there's another park called Rainy Park, but I think it's temporarily closed because they're doing renovations. But over here you can see the developments going on. So they're trying to develop the area, because there's not really much going on around. But since they got like some really gorgeous views, I think it made sense that they make the area look even nicer. So we're in for a little treat. This is the other side of Astoria, Queens. You can see how they're literally popping out new buildings, and I think over here they might build something else too. So it's gonna be really good to see how the neighborhood turns in a couple of years. And this is the park right here. It's not big, but I think it's pretty interesting to look at if you're a fan of art and sculptures and stuff like that. You can have an idea. It's a little park, and they got beautiful grass and mountains, and you can see this here. Wow. I like this here. It looks like it was taken from the trailers of the truck to turn it into something nice, but it's like an office for the staff. Then over here we got some sculptures going on. Like basketball, a dog and stuff. Pit bull dog, I don't know how clear you can see it. And they got this here, basketball with the radio from back in the 80s or 90s, and skater, you know, this really represents New York. This is mostly like a community vibe park. And little by little, they develop it a little bit more and it got nicer. And you can bring your dogs, you know, it's pet friendly. They even got like restrooms over here. I'm gonna show you what's going on ahead of me. And they made it pretty beautiful, you know, with the plants and everything. If you go at the end over here, then you'll see it take you to some impressive views I wanna show you guys. So that's the area where you catch the ferry and Astoria line. And then over here is the Upper East Side. Then the area I want to show you, the Halletts, Cove, beaches over that way. They got the new apartment. And then if you go over that way, the views are going to be even better. So I'm just giving you a little preview of what's going on around here, which is really cool. And you're surrounded by all of this beautiful nature, the trees. Wow, it's just amazing. Here in the middle is where they got a couple of exhibitions, but unfortunately they're doing some renovations, so I can't really show much. But over here would be really cool to look at all of this, you know, pretty awesome. And you got people that just come here and enjoy the weather. They can lay down in the grass. Like I said, the park is not big, but I think it's really, really cool if you're a fan of art and sculptures. You know, this is all the way at the end of Astoria. And then you get the view of Upper East Side of Manhattan, which I think is pretty nice. So here you can see the hidden gem behind me. You can practice even your Instagram skills, you know, with the park and the buildings. But yeah, like I said, I really love coming here, even though it's a little bit further from the train station, but it's just like a peaceful vibe and just super local here that I love it a lot. But I tell you, there's so many areas to explore in New York City that you can't really cover it all. Now, you probably hear a helicopter on top of me, but let's make it now towards the other side, which is the main reason I came over here, the Halletts Cove Park. You know, it's pretty nice, and then we're gonna walk towards another way and head towards 12th Street until it goes literally by Astoria Park, which is the main local park right here in this neighborhood. But yeah, you can see it's pretty nice here, nothing big, but it's pretty good to look at. Got the workers over there. You can see Long Island City all the way in the back where the skyscrapers are, and this is like the entrance. I think they close like at 7 o'clock. Or say it's 9 a.m. till sunset. So I guess during the summer, the hours are a little bit later. And then as soon as you head out the park, like I tell you, they've been developing the area a lot. They even got a bike lane. This kind of resembles like the area by Kent Street and Greenpoint and Williamsburg and Brooklyn. And this is like an older building, but they renovated and they got like restaurants and stuff. And then when you go over there, is where the Halletts Point beach is, and you're gonna get some pretty impressive views of the area, you know. It might not be special for a lot of people, but I kind of like this vibe over here that I'm gonna show you guys in a bit. And once you get outside of Sculpture Park, this is what you get. It's funny, actually I see people wetting themselves in this water, but I don't know how clean it is. This is like a local vibe over here. You got this, and then you get like this old building over here, so it kind of makes you feel like you're somewhere in Europe. And then the more I walk towards that way at the end, the better the view is gonna be of the Upper East Side. Then we got some ducks literally swimming by the water. So this is really cool. Let's see if I can get a thumbnail like this. I feel so because you got the beach, there's over here, and then the views of Upper East Side, which is pretty gorgeous. But you still hear the sounds of New York City, like the ambulance and stuff. The more I go ahead, the better the view is gonna be. Then look at all the ducks here chilling. Especially this one. Looks like it's a boss right there. making sure everything is under control. They're living a happy life, no stress, no nothing. You can even see parts of Roosevelt Island. Not sure how clear you can see it on the camera, but yeah. It's kind of often overshadowed with the skyscrapers in the back of Manhattan. Somebody's feeding them, so you see all the ducks over here just chilling, hanging out, you know. They're pretty smart though. Pretty adorable. They get the brand and they all fly and come down here to get their treat. You happy, ducks? It's a lovely day out here in the city, right? Look at the ducks, how happy they are. So I tell you, I could spend the whole evening right here just chilling, enjoying this, looking at the ducks around there. It's like a whole family. And you got the water right there in the buildings. So I'm probably gonna make it towards the other side by Astoria houses, because it's also like another nicer view. If I go towards the other corner, I think it should be nice. That's area where you capture the NYC Ferry, which is one of my favorite ways to commute in the city. For $4, you get to, you know, different regions of New York City, and it's pretty nice and worth it. Then the more you get here, the more you see even Midtown combined with Upper East Side. It's pretty nice. And then, like I said, since the area is pretty nice, you can see how they develop luxury apartment complex for people to live here. So it must be nice living in these places, and then you wake up to a view like this of the city. I can even see the Empire State Building over there. Wow, I just like how this sets up like this, the clouds. It's just like magic, you know. I don't know if you can hear it's construction, but like I said, not much ago there was literally nothing here, just the Costco and the view, but now that's changing with all these apartments that are popping up right here. So soon this is gonna be a drastic change in this section right here in Astoria. The Astoria houses is ahead of me. And then later we'll start making our way towards 12th Street so I can show you a pretty residential street. But you see how big the neighborhood is? I just only cover like a little portion of this area. But if I do a full video of Astoria, it could take me like an hour video to make. But yeah, so this over here is Astoria houses. But like I said, they got this waterfront over here, and people can ride it on the bike too. So like I said, I think Astoria is much better to cover it on the bike or a scooter, e-scooter, whatever you want to call it. Because it's so big and it's so, you know, easy to get around. And this is where you capture the ferry. I like how the clouds are literally lining up. I don't know, it's like an angel, something's trying to come out and communicate. Let me do it to the corner at the end, and then we're gonna turn back and make it into the residential street. And this is how most of the ferry terminals look like in New York. It's usually like floating. Today the weather's nice, but imagine when the weather's bad, like snowing or raining. I would be scared to wait over there because you're literally floating. But you could go online, buy the tickets, or sometimes they got the machines. I don't see none of that over here. It's been a minute since I take this, but maybe it's in the inside. And then it shows you like the routes. So for example, this is the Astoria one. It goes to 90th Street. You can make it all the way towards Wall Street. Then they got like different lines. You know, I've taken the Rockaway that goes all the way at the end. The newest one is St. George and Staten Island, and it makes it to Midtown. And they got one that goes to the Bronx. I want to do that someday. But yeah, and then they got like the schedules, also like the hours that you could take the ferry. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And the name of this area over here is Halletts Point Park, which is pretty nice. I remember years ago I was covering a video over here, and I ate one of those Greek souvlaki, one of those Greek food trucks. That was pretty good, and I ate it right here in this park. You can see what's going on. It goes all the way towards the end, and then beautiful view of Manhattan, and even Long Island City, Queens. And then you can see the area where I was right there. There's a Halletts Point beach right there at the end, so. And all the new developments happening, so yeah, it's pretty awesome right here. Gonna start making it towards 12th Street, which is gonna be a nice street. And in the beginning, there should be some beautiful street art I wanna show you. And then it's gonna turn pretty residential, so it's like another different vibe right here, you know, in Astoria. And over here is 12th Street. Many times I've walked from that side, but I'm walking from another angle right now. And this is like a garage over here, but pretty nice what they did here. Like they paint the street art that I wanna show you guys in a bit. Little piece of New York right here. You guys know, if you see my videos, you know I really love street art. And this is really dope what they did here, the collection. The architecture's gonna turn nice ahead. Wow, just look at this. Top of the world, and the way how they put their signature in the bottom is just cool. So I always feel like a little kid when I cover street art. But then ahead of me is gonna be some pretty nice architecture. Now here there's apartments, it kind of feels like a European vibe right here. You see the details, like old buildings all together. It feels like some of the districts in London. Now a block ahead of me is to start getting a little bit nicer with the trees, you know, covering up the streets. And then you're gonna see some beautiful looking houses over here. That's really like a hidden gem right here in Astoria. Look at this over here. I like the trees over here, how it covers up this area, you know, and they got the beautiful houses. So it's like each block that you walk in Astoria is really different from the other one. And then I'm gonna cross the street on the other side so you can have an idea of what's going on. And there's some of my viewers who grew up in this neighborhood said back in the days, there used to be more mansions, but now they changed the neighborhood. So, but over here I can see a little bit of preservation that's going on that I'm gonna show you guys in a bit. I'm gonna try to capture my best because sometimes the trees be blocking the view. I'm not sure how clear you can see it, but you see a beautiful house right here. And a blue one, but it's gonna be even nicer when I go further. Then even across the street, it's like a little semi-historic district that they got over here. Could be also like a patriotic neighborhood because they got the flag. But it gets nicer once I start going down this hill. And you see this here is kind of like a semi-duplex, like two houses in one. But I'm sure it has a lot of bedrooms because they're pretty big, each of them. And this over here is gonna be a masterpiece. I think if I cross the street, the view might be better. And super private. Kind of looks a little bit like the White House in DC. Yeah, but this is gorgeous right here. With the fans, the gate, even the cobblestones on the sidewalk. So I'm gonna cross the street to get a better view or a better angle of this house right here to my right. Not sure how much you can see, but look how nice the house is with the trees. Probably in the winter you get a better view. And then this is the quiet tree-lined street. And this is New York, we're literally right across Manhattan. So you see the contrast of the neighborhoods not too far from other. But what separates this side over here with Manhattan is that we got the East River over that way. So the only way to get there is by ferry or walk all the way to your nearest subway stop and make it towards Manhattan. Then over here we got the Shore Tower condominiums. So I'm pretty sure up there you probably get a nice view of the neighborhood of Astoria. And then not too far from here is Astoria Park. With the views of the bridge, but I already covered that park many times in my streams and when I did the recorded video of Astoria. So you see from the bottom what the building looks like. It's really cool, it's like a different vibe over here. Then over here I'm making my entrance to Astoria Park, which is an icon, and it's literally underneath the bridge of Robert Kennedy. You will get some impressive views right here. It's literally like magic. The park, the neighborhood himself. Then they even have like a track and field right here. So I think I'm gonna go to the other side to get a better view. What I love about New York, like it's not just concrete jungle. They also have neighborhoods all residential. They got a lot of parks here for people to recreate. So it's like a balance. So here's the view of the bridge. And if you go on the other side, you get the view of Manhattan underneath. Just some of the best pictures I've taken from my Instagram. I'm not professional, but it was right here in this park with the bridge and the sunset falling down, and it was like a division of the sunset with the park, you know, with the bridge. So I'm gonna post it right here, and that's what you can get on my Instagram. I get pictures and stuff like that, but yeah, it brings me memories. This was literally like in the winter that I caught that picture. You know, here they have an area where the skaters can go. There's a couple of skaters right there at the end. You see the bridge over here, high up. So they keep going ahead, and they got a track running field. When I was a kid and teenager, I used to love running in the track. And then we got like an outdoor gym right here ahead of me. So, you know, it's like really different vibe, and Astoria is a really good neighborhood in New York City. This is the outdoor gym. It's not too busy today. A couple of people, even though it's not extremely hot, a little bit warm, but not extreme. But yeah, they even got one in Jersey City Heights too. And then you can see the track running field right here. At the end, you know, gotta tell you, I wish the warmer weather in New York that will last longer. It's a shame that's gonna be over pretty soon. It's just like the vibe of the city is really different, you know, when the weather's pretty nice. The way how you see everybody outside and the dress and all that, it's just like a different vibe from the winter time. So now I'm just gonna make it towards Astoria Boulevard area, where the train is, because there are gonna be some pretty cool views to capture over there, and then most likely I'm gonna wrap up the video. It's been an amazing evening in this side of Astoria, Queens, and pretty pleasant to check out, you know, like a different vibe. So then over here, even under the bridge, they got a park, they got a basketball court right here. So you see the people playing basketball. That's one thing I like about New York City, like the way how they use the space wisely. Then they even got like a dog park over here to bring your dogs and your pets under the bridge. So the craziness of the traffic above, and then underneath they got parks going on. And then you see beautiful houses here to my right hand. This will take me straight to the subway train. I tell you, it never ceases to amaze me all types of neighborhoods you get in New York City, and how big each of them they are, you know, the sections and stuff. It's like it could take you forever. Like I've only covered a little portion of Astoria today, and you can see how much I walk. Then over here, they got another sport in New York City called handball. They're playing it right, I don't know, I think ahead of me, you can see right here. That is not handball, I think it's racquetball. But it looks really fun. I guess with some practice, you can get pretty good. So no matter what neighborhood or city you go, you're always gonna get some inspiration, some type of activity going on like this, people playing sports. And I'll tell you, I mean, this is a good place to be. So this bridge that you see here is actually Highway 278 that will pass Randall's Island and take you all the way to the Bronx and connect you with other highway. Before I head to the train station area, I'm making a little detour here just to show you one of the regular streets here, but you can see how nice it is. So this is all apartment complex right here that people live. You can see how nice it is. It feels kind of like a semi-European vibe. Then they got the brick building over here. And then if you go overhead, it's literally the streets covered with trees. Let me walk forward so you can get a better view. Then over here is a regular 3-story apartment. And a lot of streets in Astoria, they look pretty similar with this type of buildings. But I love this street over here, it's really nice. I can tell you, tons of streets in Astoria are gorgeous, not only in the main streets, like regular streets like this. As you can see, old style designated apartment complex surrounded by the nature. And then here you can see how the trees covers up the streets, and it helps out with the weather, the vegetation, brings you a little bit of a breeze over here, so it's pretty nice and magical. And I'm sure in the fall season it must be gorgeous too. When the leaves start turning yellow and red, it's gonna be like a different type of vibe. Also, another cool thing about the highway next to me, 278, once it passes the area over here in Queens, it's also known as the Grand Central Parkway, and it passes through one of the busiest airports in New York City, which is LaGuardia. I never flew for that airport, but I heard, you know, good things. They opened up a new terminal, they're redeveloping it, and it's gonna be pretty nice. And you can see how busy it is over here, traffic. But then if you look at some of the streets, it pretty much looks like the other street that I was showing you guys. Pretty nice, quiet, and the trees covering up the streets. This is another street. And then if you enter here is another local park that passes right next to the subway station on 31st Street. It's really cool. There goes the train right there. Then there's an overpass where you can get the view of 278 and the bridge, but I'm gonna do it in a bit. But you see what's going on here. Not too many people, but I live stream walking around this area. So here I am entering the subway area by Astoria Boulevard, and we got an overpasses over here. It's kind of gonna give you like some Asian vibes when I was back in Asia. You see they got this here and they decorated with the lights. I think this will help out with the sunlight. But I want to show you like a nasty traffic jam we got going on in the highway in 278 heading towards Grand Central Parkway. You can't really zoom it, but you see all that crazy traffic jam over there with the Robert Kennedy Bridge. It's like a different type of vibe right here in Astoria, Queens. So that was the end of my video exploring this little hidden gem right here in Astoria, Queens. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.